I'm demonstrating how I set up the decoders in my locomotives for basic operation using JMRI Decoder Pro on Ron's Trains and Things right now. Hi, I'm Ron of Ron's Trains and Things, and today I'm going to show you how I do the basic setup of decoders in my locomotives for the sake of getting them operating on my layout. Now, I know that DCC can be very intimidating to those who are new to it and those who are new to the hobby of model railroading. And I know that programming decoders can be especially terrifying for those who are afraid of somehow messing something up and making a decoder just not work anymore. Well, there's a piece of free software that many of you are familiar with called JMRI, and a feature within it called Decoder Pro that can take much of the fear and intimidation out of programming your decoders and getting things going in DCC. And today I'm going to show you both a basic installation of a decoder in an N-scale locomotive and how I do the basic setup of my decoders to get them running on my layout. Then we're going to come back in a future video and show you some more advanced features to show you how to get those locomotives to run exactly the way that you want them to. Well, hey, if you'd like to see more model railroad tips, tools, and techniques, you're going to want to be sure and subscribe down below and click the little bell icon so you can catch future videos. But for now, let's head on over to the workbench. We'll get this decoder installed and get it set up to run on the layout. This video is brought to you by Midwest Model Railroad. Now with 15,000 square feet and one-day shipping, they truly are your one-stop model railroad shop. MidwestModelRR.com, link in the description. For this demonstration, I am working with a brand new Kato N-scale SD70 Ace locomotive. Opening the box, you see that this model is BNSF number 8574. As usual, this is a nicely detailed model from Kato, not on the level of some of the high-end detail models, but a great operations locomotive. This particular locomotive came as a DC, or decoder-ready model, so my first step is to install a decoder. I'm not installing sound in this unit, so I am using a Digitrax DN163K1C decoder. This is a super fast and easy install, and these Digitrax decoders are really good motor decoders, even if you don't care for the sound of Digitrax sound decoders. To get started, I remove the shell from the locomotive, then slide back and up the existing light board. This particular board kind of wedges into place, so I had to pry up on it ever so slightly to release it from the mounting clips. The Digitrax decoder comes on this piece of foam to protect the motor contacts. Remove the Kapton tape and the foam and it's ready for installation. It is crucial that you mind the motor pickups on the locomotive. They must tuck under the decoder contacts in order to make good contact between the decoder and the motor. Take care here not to bend or damage these pickups during installation. Once they are secured, simply slip the decoder into the mounting clips built into the frame. While the shell is off is a good time to upgrade the couplers. Kato couplers do not play well with other brands in N-scale, so I always upgrade them to Microtrains couplers. In this case, I'm using Microtrains number 2001 body-mounted couplers, and I am mounting them using the retaining clips that held the original Kato couplers in place. I then reinstalled the body shell. I checked things like wheel gauge and coupler height just to make sure everything was in good working order. By the way, I did a full review of this locomotive for my other channel, Ron's Rail Reviews, and you can find a link to that video at the end of this video or in the description down below. After a simple test on the layout, it was time to do my basic programming setup. For this, I took the locomotive over to my computer desk. I set up these decoders on my programming track, which is a simple portable track with both a Digitrax PR3 and an ESU Loc programmer installed. ESU decoders don't work well with JMRI, especially for programming upper CVs used for light and sound effects. But for all but my ESU decoders, I use the PR3 and JMRI Decoder Pro to do my programming. Let me walk you through this basic process. Be sure and watch for my orange cursor, which you now see in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. First, we're going to open Decoder Pro, and that's going to give us this screen. Now you can see I have a library of locomotives already started here. Most of my locomotives are entered here. But we're going to do this for a brand new locomotive and a brand new programmer today. So with a brand new locomotive, we're going to start by going to New Loco right here. And then we're going to choose the decoder that we have installed in that locomotive. Now, in this case, I know that I have installed the Digitrax DN163K1C. So I can go into the Digitrax menu and find it. But if I don't know what decoder that I have, say I am setting up a brand new list within JMRI, I've never used it before, I've got a locomotive that has had a decoder in it for some time, don't remember exactly what's in it, then we can go right here and click on Read Type from Locomotive, and it's going to show us at least one of several possibilities that it may be, so it'll narrow down that list. But in this case, I know what I have, so I'm going to Digitrax. This is a Series 3 with FX, and I'm going to scroll down here to the DN163K1C, and you see it right there. Now, if I had programmed this decoder earlier, I would go right here and read from decoder. I could do that anyway, but in this case, the decoder is set to its factory settings, so I'm just going to go right into the programming mode. And right here in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you see Open Comprehensive Programmer. I'm going to click that, and that's going to give me my programming screen. Now, the first thing I want to do is enter the roster entry. You can enter as much or as little information here as you like, but I like to give a little bit of information that just helps me know what I have whenever I open Decoder Pro. So I'm going to give it a full ID, and this is the road name is BNSF. The number is 8574. Manufacturer is Kato. I'm not worried about the owner. The model in this case is an SD70 Ace. And that's all the information I need here. Now from here, you see these menu headings at the top, and those are where I'm going to go to program different CVs and functions within this decoder. So I'm going to first go to Basic, and here's where I'm going to set my address. It's set to a short address of 3, which is default on about all decoders. I want the long address, and I want to program it to the locomotive number, the road number, which is 8574. I hit Tab, which enters that particular piece of information into the program. And you can see the items that have turned orange are the ones that have been changed. Those are ones that I'll be writing to the decoder. The items that are yellow are variables that I haven't changed, but that could be changed. On the basic menu, that's all I need to do for the time being. Next, under the motor menu, this is where you would set things like your acceleration and deceleration, or in other words, your momentum rate. Or if you've got a locomotive that has a motor that's a little slow to start, you may want to put a little bit of kickstart voltage in there. For right now, I'm going to leave all of those at 0. I do program some momentum into my locomotives, but I like to do that later after I've set all of my speed tables and speed match them for consisting. So we'll come back and deal with that later, probably in another video. Under basic speed control, you're going to notice that this decoder, as is true with many decoders, is set default to use basic speed control, or in other words, its speed is controlled by 3 CVs, which is a voltage start, a voltage mid, and a voltage high. I'm just showing you that because that is the default, but I'm actually going to set mine up here on the next menu, speed table, and I'm going to click this little box right here that tells it that I want to use the full speed table on this locomotive. Now, again, I'm not going to change this table right now. I'm going to leave it just like it is. I know that this locomotive, as will be true with almost all of them, it's going to run way too fast. So I know that I'm going to be coming back and adjusting this speed table a little bit later. But again, that's going to be the subject of another video that we'll talk about speed tables and speed matching. But for right now, I just want to enable the speed table. Then we're going to go up to the upper row of menus, and when I click one of these, it's going to bring it down. Now it's the lower row. Lights. This is one function that I always like to adjust for my own sake, just because it's a feature that I really like. And that is, I like to have Rule 17 lighting on my locomotives. That means for most decoders, for model railroading purposes, that the function of travel of the locomotive, the headlight will be on bright, and in the reverse direction, the headlight will not go out like a directional lighting normally does, but will rather be dimmed. So to program that in these Digitrax decoders, first I'm going to go to this first line, which is forward light effect generated. And I'm going to pull down this menu. I'm going to scroll down a little bit till I see Rule 17 dimmable headlight. I'm going to click that. And then under the light behavior for the forward light, I'm going to pull down that menu. And right here you see special logic for forward ditch light or Rule 17. Make sure that you are clicking the one for forward. Okay, this is the forward light, dimmable, and special logic for the forward Rule 17. The next line is for the reverse light. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to change it to Rule 17 dimmable. And then for the behavior, we're going to change it to special logic for reverse ditch light Rule 17 dimming. And that has all of the programming I need to do for this page as well. I don't need to make any changes on these other menus. Consist, I'm not consisting right now. I'm not doing anything with sound because this is not a sound locomotive. So that has all of my CVs programmed for effects that I want to do for the basic setup of this and most of my locomotives. Now at this point, I can come down to the bottom and click this tab that says Write Changes on All Sheets. And what that's going to do is it's going to take just the changes that I've made and write those particular CVs onto the decoder on all of the different sheets that I have adjusted, and all of the other settings it's going to leave alone. And at that point, when that programming is done, this locomotive is going to be ready to go to the layout and run. Again, I will come back in another video and show you how I set speed tables, speed match locomotives for consisting, and add momentum to the locomotives, so be sure to watch for those videos in the near future. And hey, did you notice the auto racks in the background of this video clip? Those are the brand new auto racks from Scaled Trains, and I'm reviewing them for Ron's Rail Reviews as well. I'll post a link to that video as well as the Kato SD70 Ace review in the end screen on this video and in the description down below. Well, that's how I do the basic setup of decoders for my layout. And for those of you who are new to JMRI and Decoder Pro, or just new to DCC in general, I hope that gives you a little bit of help, and I hope that you'll try it out. JMRI is a free piece of software. You can download it simply by searching for JMRI and downloading the latest version and walking through the process of setting it up on your computer. Give it a shot, because I know it'll make your DCC life a whole lot easier. Well, hey, be sure and check out my Amazon Pick of the Week in the description down below, as well as my MicroMark promo code that'll save you 10% on some great model railroad tools. And be sure and check out those review videos that I mentioned in the links on your screen right now. And join me each Tuesday as I bring you even more great model railroad videos. And I look forward to seeing you then. 10, Lizzie?